We began a new quarter for this period of Sunday school lessons, and today we're beginning our fall quarter for the months of September, October, and November. And the title of this fall quarter is Love for One Another. And attached to this video, for all of our following along in these lessons, we have a lesson outline. All of the lessons for September, October, and November. So I encourage you to download the outline so that you can follow along with us along these Sunday school lessons of every lesson that we're looking at. For this fall quarter, it is entitled Love for One Another. And our unit number 1 for the month of September is entitled Struggles with Love. And it is a 4-part lesson from the book of Genesis that is revealing aspects about love. Some of the things that we're going to be looking at is jealousy, destruction, looking past wrongs, and reconciliation. So those are some of the things we're going to be looking at in this quarter. And today's lesson number 1 for September 6, 2020, is entitled When Love is Lost. And it comes from Genesis chapter 37, verse 2 through 11, verse number 23, 24, the A part, and verse number 28. In our lesson today, the patriarch Jacob has finally found him a home. He is of old age now. He is dwelling in the land of Canaan, that promised land that God promised to his great-grandfather Abraham. He is now settled in, and he has been blessed by God because now he has 12 sons, and those 12 sons are starting to have children of their own, and they are populating what will now become the nation of Israel. From these 12 sons, Jacob is seeing the promise be affirmed to him. That promise is that I'm going to make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky, as well as the sand on the seashore. And it's through these 12 sons that God was going to do that. You remember that promise God gave to him. And now Jacob is finding it all falling into place. But there is a son, our text tells us today, that he loved more than all of the others. And his name was Joseph. And the Bible tells us that he loved Joseph because he was the son of his old age. And because he loved Joseph so much, he showed favoritism toward Joseph. He gave Joseph a coat that had many colors on it, something he didn't give to any of his other sons. And then Joseph had a dream. He had a dream that the grains of wheat of his brothers were bowing down to his. And then he had another dream that the sun and the moon and 11 stars were bowing down to him. And that was God showing him that his brothers and mother and his father would be bowing down to him. And because of the favoritism that was shown to Joseph, his brothers began to hate him. His brothers couldn't say, the Bible said, a nice thing about him. They envied him. They were jealous of him. And this open bias of favoritism resulted in the brothers not only conspiring against Joseph, but putting him in a pit and then plotting to kill him and choosing finally to sell him away into slavery. This open biasness and favoritism caused his brothers to hate him. And it's the same way today that in our families, as parents, fathers, and mothers, when we show that favoritism, it has a way of destroying our families. It has a way of separating us and damaging the relationship of father and mothers to children and children to children. And that favoritism can destroy the family. Well, not only biologically, but when love is lost in the human family. And we are dealing with some of that today, where the human family is dealing with love being lost. It will resort always into death, into hatred, into biasness, into favoritism, where I only love who I love, or I have my preference of who I love, or I love myself and I don't love anybody else, or I love a certain group and I can't stand nobody else. It always will lead to destruction. So what does God call for us to do? He calls for us to love one another. Calls for us to love one another. I pray that God allow us to let his love, even during these last times, to reign and rule in our hearts. I pray so that our human race can enjoy the benefits of spreading love.